if I went out to dinner and I was at a restaurant and I had some vegetables that had some olive oil in it, it wouldn't be such a big deal for me because I'm not a food addict. I'm not overweight. And having a little oil, which is an appetite stimulant, is not going to induce me to overeat or want to use oil the rest of the week. It wouldn't be harmful for me to have a little bit of oil because I'm not a food addict and I'm not overweight. And I'm burning a lot of calories anyway with all the exercise I'm doing. If I'm overweight and looking to lose weight, being even 10 or 20 pounds overweight significantly increases your risk of all causes of death. So why would I sabotage my weight loss by using oil at that point? Because having even oil once a week can stop the weight loss for 3 days. That'll sabotage because the oil turns on fat storage hormones, because it goes immediately to fat storage and stops the weight loss. So you may gain weight you may come back 2 pounds heavier that day and not lose weight for the next 2 or 3 days. You may just lose the weight over the next 2 or 3 days, but you've just lost 4 days of possible improvement. And if you have oil frequently enough, like 2 times a week or more, it could sabotage your ability to lose weight altogether. Besides that, an occasional use of a recreational food or an occasional use of food for a person who's not overweight and not a food addict is not necessarily a big deal. When a person has food addictions, and most people that are eating foods to self-sabotage their health and that are overweight do have problems with food driving cravings, and only abstinence makes those cravings go away. And oil adds a huge caloric load to your meal. And most people are acclimated to eating too many calories, and their brains and their dopamine receptors in the brains get used to overeating too many calories. They're not satisfied with the right amount of calories. 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 calories doesn't satisfy them. They need to have more calories, and they're used to putting oil and adding extra calorically dense foods in their diet. And if they start to take them out, they feel somewhat empty. And therefore, they're never going to really succeed on this in the long term, because they're really not removing their addictive adjustments the body made to acclimate to the extra caloric load, including speeding up the metabolic rate and increasing your caloric driver. So what I'm saying right now is the hypothalamus, the apostat in the hypothalamus is tuned down by fiber and turned up by oil. And oil, because it rushes the bloodstream with lots of calories, it makes you dopamine insensitive. So it makes you crave and drive to eat more calories. So even though oil is 125 calories a tablespoon, and it's crazy to add, 200 to 300 more calories in your diet when you're looking to lose weight, which don't have any significant nutrient load to benefit your health. So why would you just waste calories, taking empty calories? So I don't see the rationale between a person wanting excellent health, also wanting to sabotage their health with foods that aren't good for them. I don't see that rationale. That's the food addict part of the brain talking. We all self-sabotage ourselves because obviously the cerebral brain knows it's best for us to eat healthfully, but the little primitive baby brain that just wants, like a little baby wanting its bottle, just is going to whine about what it can't have, and what it wants that it can't have are the foods it's addicted to. And it's only people that are addicted to the oil and addicted to the salt that want those things anyway. I don't want them. I like food better without salt. Any salt added to my food tastes overly salted because my taste buds have acclimated to a low salt diet. And higher salt foods just gets me thirsty and makes me feel uncomfortable, wanting to drink water all night long and pee all night long. And the more you get used to having no salt in your diet, the stronger your taste muscle gets, and the more you enjoy the subtle flavors of the mild, subtle flavors in natural foods. The dance of flavors on your tongue, from the sweetness of the carrots and the flavor of the onion and the umami and the mushroom and the pea flavor and the little mild spice. You enjoy all these different flavors, and the more you salt your food, you've accordingly deadened your taste buds' ability to enjoy all the subtle dancing of flavors in natural foods. So, though it may be true that if a person's slim and healthy, a little bit of extra salt or a little bit of extra oil isn't going to be a major factor, shorten their lifespan if they're thin, healthy, and burning off those calories. In practice, actually working with real people, The people that lose their weight, get to their healthy weight and stay with it for the rest of their life, and who had food addiction and troubles with their weight in the past, they usually don't see success when they keep using oil and salt. And that's where, not everybody's the same. We're not all robots of each other. We're not, so there's no blanket recommendation where there couldn't ever be an exception. But speaking in generalities, most people do better, have more success when they cut out oil and cut out salt completely or almost completely out of their diet. So you can further banter with me on this and add what you think, but I'm just telling you from my 30, 40 years of experience, it's usually a form of self-sabotage to be eating such concentrated calories when you should be eating more. It's not a healthy food. And I'm making the radical claim that olive oil is a major contributor to breast cancer. And the reason I can make that radical claim is because body fat increases risk of breast cancer radically. And olive oil is a major factor in keeping people to have excess body fat. If you worked 8 hours a day behind a plow, in the fields and eating 3,000 calories a day, having a little bit of oil would be no big deal. But if we're mostly sitting at our desk jobs and not burning such high caloric load, then where is the oil going to be burned? And when you get your fat from nuts and seeds instead of oil, it's not only more delicious and more flavorful, more chewy and more satisfying, but the fat calories are absorbed extremely slowly. So the calories can be preferentially burned for energy, having you not be hungry for hours and hours after you ate some nuts and seeds with that meal. When you have oil as a source of fat with the meal, because the fat calories are absorbed in 3 to 5 minutes, it doesn't sustain your hunger it doesn't keep you free of hunger. In fact, the rapid absorption of the calories have a stimulating effect on the brain and make you want to eat more calories. So where nuts and seeds make you feel like you're satisfied, not wanting to eat more, oil causes weight gain and makes you want to eat more calories over and above the calories that were contained in the oil itself. So if you were at a buffet and you had some oil mixed in the food, you would eat more food. You wouldn't just get the extra calories from the oil. You'd eat more food that was oiled than you would have had the food not been oiled. So it's going to drive up your appetite. And for most people, it's going to sabotage their benefits. Now, however, you said if you're still losing 2 to 3 pounds a week, then it wouldn't be such a big deal. And probably that's correct. If you're successful long-term, having a little bit of oil and still losing 2 to 3 pounds a week, you're still a nutritarian. You're a nutritarian if you're eating healthfully at your ideal weight, or eating healthfully and moving in the direction of your ideal weight every single week at least 2 pounds a week.